Hello and welcome to the McTaggart Attack podcast. I am Kevin McTaggart. This is episode 61. I want to thank everyone. I've noticed I track the numbers. I do a spreadsheet and I look at the website, and I've seen some increase in numbers as of late, and I want to thank everyone who listens, and I hope you enjoy it. You must enjoy it. Let me know what I can do, what I can fix, if there any criticism, any suggestions for what I can do in the podcast. Is there anything you want me to talk about in the podcast? Well, I do have the what pisses you off segment, so that makes sense. That's fine. But yeah, no, whatever you want me to discuss, or not discuss, but any suggestions that you have for me for this, or you want to say what's wrong, or you want to tell me what you like. Bottom line, thank you. Thank you for listening. And this whole thing is a work in progress. Much like life, it's a work in progress. I look up, tips on like how to promote the website and stuff like that, and like simple things like putting the link to the podcast in like various bios and stuff. So yeah, I think that seems to be helping. When I post daily about the podcast, people will respond to the podcast. So that's cool. What I wanted to talk about in this episode, I wanted to talk about guns because of the horrible shooting that occurred in Parkland, Florida, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I wanted to talk about that, and I didn't want to I talked about it briefly in my last podcast, but I've had time to think about it, and I've spoken to other people about it, and it's a lot more than just the shooting and guns. I mean, I might call this episode I'm gonna talk about guns, or my thoughts on guns. Maybe the title of this episode. I'm not really sure yet. It'll be something to that effect, probably. Or something different. I don't know. You know how I work. Anyway, but yeah, it just wanted to talk about something more than that. I wanted to give a backstory, if you will, to me, about me, and maybe that will lead to good explanation of what I wanted to discuss here in the podcast. Let's see, when I was a kid, back in late 80s, early 90s, I hated school. I mean, I didn't hate school. I liked learning and stuff and that stuff. But what I hated was getting picked on in school. I got picked on a lot in school. I remember, I think in first grade, everything was going fine. Then I had to wear glasses. And that was the worst day of my life. It was terrible. I cried and cried and cried, because I thought I'd get picked on for wearing glasses. And I'd always felt insecure and stuff too, I guess, because of scoliosis and such, and surgeries and whatnot. And so yeah, I never had a big opinion of myself, and so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Getting picked on, because it's picked on. I've just been, I've been subject to getting picked on, all throughout school and stuff like that, and got called names. What have I been called? Dumbo was probably the first one because of my ears, and then we moved a bit, and it seemed like wherever we moved, there was a new name. Kids came up with a new name because kids are innovative. Like, there was Radar. Radar I actually kind of liked because of Radar O'Reilly from Nash. And then that was all up in like the New England area, and that was cool. And then we moved down to Florida. I lived in Titusville, Florida for a while, and got picked on there. It got worse. Like, kids seemed meaner down in Florida. I don't know why, because I mean, they fucking live in Florida. What the hell is their goddamn problem? You know? But like, the big name I got called down there was Yoda. And like, I'd not watched much of the... That's why I didn't watch much Star Wars. I was too ashamed. I'm like, I didn't really look like Yoda. Not green. Well, maybe a little hunched over. The ears, I mean, that's a fucking creative name, but it was mean. Like, the guys would chant it in PE, and just awful. And it would get depressing. It would absolutely get depressing. But I didn't tell anybody. I kept it in. I didn't want to make a big deal of it. I kept it inside. It sucked. It sucked. I hated it. And then we moved from Titusville to the Fort Lauderdale area. We lived in Davie, and I went to South Plantation High School for the last 2 years of school. And it wasn't so bad there because, like, nobody knew me, and I tried not to get to know anybody. So that made me feel a lot better. Like, there were a few people that knew me and called me names, but, like, I was so sensitive to being called names, I didn't really fucking like it. So, like, I just... And the few times that I was called names down there just brought it all back, and it sucks. But yeah, it was depressing. It got depressing. I wouldn't say I was depressed all the time, but it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, it was just depressing. And I never really... I mean, I hated these guys. I hated all these people that called me names. I hated them all. You know? I did. And I mean, I wanted to, like... I always thought about coming back and exacting revenge. Or something like that. But I never thought about, like, killing them. But my thoughts were, like, coming back as, like, a better person, an improved person, better than them. You know what I mean? That's what I pictured doing. You know? Did I want to beat the crap out of these guys? Sure. Did I want to shoot them? No, I didn't want to shoot them because I didn't want to go to jail. I mean, so I guess I did sort of think about that. Anyone who picked on me. But, I mean, I never really thought about, like... I never thought about killing them because then that would ruin my life. And what's good in that? I always thought that, like... the best revenge is living well. You know? And, like, even, like, when I was in the 4th grade, I hated the kids I lived around because they would always pick on me. But I always wanted to come back. And not, like, beat up anyone, like I said. Just, like, again, the best revenge is living well. But that all being said, like, this is hard. It's harder than I thought it was to talk about this. I had it in my head, and, like... So, it's going to sound a lot jumbled up. I'm going to jump around to different things, probably different aspects of this, but I remember my senior year in college, and college was fine. The picking on was different there, because kids think getting picked on is okay. It's not. It's not okay, but you deal with it, you live with it, you shouldn't really hold it in. You should, let them know, hey, you're hurting my feelings. We need to let people know that. More on that later. But it was my senior year, I think, in college at FSU. I think it was, what was it? April 20th, 1998 was the Columbine shooting, and those assholes went to that school. I call them assholes. Those kids went to school and shot up everybody. I forget. I don't know the numbers, but we all remember the Columbine shooting and how horrible that was. And that's it. I mean, and my initial thought was just that, wow. When I heard about the shooting, I'm like, wow, that could have been me. Could have been me. I mean, if I was that angry about how I was picked on to go and do that. I'm sure there were flashes of times when I did have that sort of ideation, but no. So these school shootings, they do hit close to home in some respects, more ways than one. I'm not trying to say that I'm not saying that the shooters were right. They were wrong. They should not have done that. But they're not the one. They're to blame because they did it. But I mean, this could have been prevented. This should be prevented. I mean, I don't know the history of all of the shootings that have taken place in all of the schools, but seems to always be somebody that was picked on in some respect for the most part, and I hated getting picked on, and I can sympathize with those that have been picked on before, but instead of going to the school and shooting up everyone or whatever, or inflicting violence, which is never the answer, we need to learn that it's okay to let people know that we're upset about things, that things make us upset. We need to, looking back on it now, I really wish I would have been more vocal and let people know that it upset me. Because all I did was just sit there and take it, and take it, and take it. And I shouldn't have done that. And I'm sure anyone else that's ever been picked on just sits there and takes it. Because you're too scared. I was too scared to talk back, because I thought it would get worse. And it just, that's what it is. I never said anything, and it just got worse, and people thought Yoda was my nickname, that I liked being called that. I remember. And I told them, no, I don't. My name's Kevin. Oh, and people didn't know what my name was. That's how bad it was. But I never told anyone that it hurt my feelings. I never told anyone. I just assumed that that they knew that it hurt my feelings. So what the fuck was the point of saying anything? But I really should have said something. I really should have complained more. And that's what we need to do. That's one thing we need to do. Like, we need to, like, be mindful of what we say to others and how that hurts their feelings. And we need to, like, it's hard. It's hard. Even to this day, I keep stuff bottled up. And I shouldn't. And I shouldn't. And I feel bad about that. And I just don't know what to do. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to. We just need to be more. I definitely know that I need to be more forthcoming with my feelings, even as a 41-year-old man. And like, we just need to teach people and let them know that it's okay to let people know that you're upset about something. And that's pretty much, that's it. You know, I mean, it sounds easy though, but it's hard because, like, for me, it's hard to do that because I'm afraid of repercussions. Anything I do, I'm afraid of repercussions. So, like, I keep it bottled up. And it's just, we can't keep stuff bottled up anymore. We can't do that. That's no way to live. You can't just, like, keep it bottled up and not say anything. We need to speak up, and we need to let people know when we're bothered by when someone hurts our feelings. We need to let them know. And we can't just go through life thinking that no one's gonna hurt our feelings. You know, it's just, this episode turned into something else that I wasn't expecting it to turn into. I wanted to talk about guns, but I'm just talking about being bullied. I mean, I don't really want to talk about guns all that much because I've never owned one. I've never shot one. But, like, I spoke to someone last night at the comedy show that I was in, and it just sparked these thoughts. And I'm like, yeah, I think your name's Amadea, I think. Might be your name. I'm not sure. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry if I fucked up your name. But anyway, no, it's just, the shootings seem to be happening more and more, though, and you can't blame video games. Video games aren't the only cause. Guns aren't the only cause. You know what's the cause is, like, we need to, like, learn as people and be more accepting of people, as like, when something bothers us, we need to let them know. Like, we need to be more vocal about when something gets on our nerves, when something makes us upset. Because if you just keep it bottled up, bad things could happen. And I don't know this kid that shot up the school. I don't know any of them. I hear snippets and stuff, and, like, you know, it's just, we can't just keep it bottled up. We need to, like, teach our kids or teach ourselves to know that if something bothers us, we need to, like, express our feelings about it. We need to learn how to express our feelings. And I'm not saying that would solve all the problems. I'm not saying that would stop school shootings or shootings in general, or just acts of violence, but, like, if we just learned that it was okay to let people know that it's okay to tell people when they're bothering us, you know, and we have to not be afraid to speak up when we're bullied. or harassed or whatever. We need to... I wish I had spoken up more as a kid. Not necessarily tell the teacher, but tell the kid back, hey, leave me alone. You know? I don't really appreciate you saying those names to me as a kid, you know, and it's just... Getting picked on, it's why I never really was that eager to go back to high school reunions. High school reunions. I was never that eager to go back to high school reunions. And just... Right. Because I did not enjoy any high school, any school at all. I mean, I don't have any friends from the high school days, I don't think. I don't want to, because it was not a fun time for me. And, anytime, like I said, anytime there's a school shooting, it just sort of, reminds me of those days. And I mean, I can't go back in time and act that way and do what I said I would want to do, is speak up. But what I can do now is let people know that it's okay to speak up. If someone picks on you, tell them to fuck off. Or tell them that you're hurting their feelings in some way, however way you want to do it. You can curse, whatever. Cursing's fine. I just don't think violence is the answer. Violence shouldn't be the answer. And it's a shame that some people resort to violence because they know no other way to communicate their feelings. But violence is not the answer. And we need to learn that. And we need to fix ourselves as a society to know that just to express our opinions more. Speak up. You should speak up. If something bugs you, let them know. Don't keep it bottled up. Keeping it bottled up is a terrible way to live. Trust me, I know. Yeah. Another way it hit home, just because I used to live near there. I think there's a golf course in Parkland. I think I've played it once or twice. But it's like I said, I went to South Plantation High School for 2 years, and that was nearby there. I didn't even know that the shooting was in Broward County. I assumed it was Dade County. But so it hit home in a lot of different ways. It hit home mentally. Anytime there's a shooting, and you hear that the guy was bullied, I feel for them. But they're wrong. I'm not saying that they're right in what they did. They're not. Shooting up your classmates should not be the answer. If you ever feel like you want to shoot up your classmates, talk to someone. Don't post it on Facebook. Just talk to someone. If I can be encouraging to anybody, just if someone bugs you, talk about it. I think that's all I want to talk about with that. Getting picked on is why I hate participating in comedy roasts. Because it's people say shit about me in a roast and it just brings it all back. I'm always very nervous about that. But I'm going to participate in more roasts and and fire back with it. Because it's all... The roasts, at least, are allegedly all in good fun. So there. Let's change topics. I'm sure I'll talk about this again. Once again, I do a podcast where I reveal way too much about myself. But just remember, before I move on, we need to... If someone bugs you, tell them that you're bugging them. That they are bugging you. All right. Let's move on to what's pissing you off. The one I got this week is a good one, I think. It's an anonymous suggestion. This person did not want anyone to know that this came from them, because it's slightly embarrassing. And but I under the condition of anonymity, whatever the fuck I was trying to say. Anonymous. It's an anonymous suggestion. I will accept anonymous suggestions. You can send me a Facebook message or a Twitter direct message or something, or say it to my face and say that you want this to be anonymous, and I will consider it, because I get it. We're angry. There's a lot of stuff we're angry about that we're very ashamed of being angry about. That being said, if one of the anonymous things that you're ashamed of being angry about is the color of someone's skin or anything like that, then I will not talk about that. That's on you. I will not get angry about that on your behalf. Get your head out of your ass. Anyway, this is an anonymous suggestion. This person, who will remain nameless, they hate it when they take a shower and get out of the shower and have to take a shit afterwards. Like, right after the shower. Because it then just completely defeats the entire purpose of the shower. So here is me getting mad about taking a shit after the shower. I hate when I've taken the time to take a shower, lather up, wash up, and everything, and all nice and clean, and the shower's over, and then once the shower's over, my gastrointestinal system takes over, and I have to run over to the toilet and take a dump right after the shower, butt-ass naked, wet seat and everything. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate when this happens. It totally defeats the purpose of me being in the shower. It totally negates everything that I cleaned up from the shower, having to take a shit afterwards. I fucking hate that. That's awful. Damn my body for hating me and not maybe I should just fucking listen to my body from now on. It's just ridiculous. I hate that though. Ugh. Yeah, it's just annoying. That is annoying to me. That happens to me too. That's not my suggestion, but it's someone else's suggestion. But it's awful when, like, I take a shower and, like, I have to take a shit afterwards. I hope that was good enough. I don't know. It's just, might not be that good enough. Maybe I should try it again. I feel like I should try it again. I hate when I take a shower and then after the shower, I take a shit. I'm like, oh, God. And then, like, when you sit on the toilet, you sometimes slip a little bit, because you're all wet and you have to go. And it's so damn annoying. Maybe next time I'll just shit in the shower. Why not? It's all going down the same, not the same exact drain, but it's going all to the same place, and provided well, there may be some solids involved. You may have to clean up the bathroom a bit after you take the shit in the shower. This is the most gross what pisses you off I've ever done. Oh well. Anyway, let's see. Upcoming shows. Shout out. I just did a great show in Espresso Bueno in Barrie last night. Any comics who want to do a show in Barrie, hit up Sean Hunter Williams. So there. Also, I think I have a storytelling show on March 2nd, and then Comedy Thunderdome is March 3rd. Both shows are at the Marquee in Middlebury. And then I think there's another Vermont Comedy Outlaws show on March 10th, and then there's a movie roast on March 17th. I'm probably forgetting something. I don't know. Anyway, look up my two YouTube channels. For me and for the McTaggart Attack podcast. This episode will probably go on YouTube sometime. This episode will be on YouTube. Look for it on YouTube or through Podbean or wherever the fuck you find podcasts. Look me up on Facebook. Look up the McTaggart Attack podcast on Facebook. And follow me on Twitter at KevMcT. I think that covers everything. Oh yeah, sponsorship. Still no sponsors. If you want to sponsor the McTaggart Attack podcast, let me know. And I will promote your shit. Alright. That's all I've got for this week. I hope whatever I said today helps anybody who listens. Alright. Bye, everybody.